VAR chaos explodes after a so-called blatant handball. At Ibrox sparks fury and wild conspiracy claims. Mikey Moore's future is thrown into doubt as his agent fires a warning shot over his lack of minutes, just as the youngster hits form and then gets sidelined by injury. Out of nowhere, Nedim Bajrami rises from the shadows and forces his way back into the squad under Danny Rohl, while Thelo Arsgaard struggles to keep up. And just when you thought things were settled, Kyle Lafferty drops a bombshell. He's tipping Gennaro Gattuso to take the Ibrox hot seat in the future. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. We are the people. There's been a bit of a storm brewing after Rangers' 2-1 win over Livingston at Ibrox, and you guessed it, it's all about VAR again. You've probably seen the footage by now, but if you haven't, let me paint it for you. Emmanuel Fernandez, back in the starting lineup, scores early with a cracking header, but then gets caught in the spotlight when a shot from Tete Yengi rattles off his arm inside the box. Now, here's where it gets murky. VAR steps in, or rather, it doesn't. Ref Ross Hardy's not sent to the monitor, and the SFA claimed Fernandez was too close and his arm was in a natural position. Marvin Bartley from the Livingston dugout wasn't having it either. He's fuming, saying it's as clear a penalty as you'll ever see. And to be fair, even some of you have admitted we got away with one, but here's the kicker. John Beaton, sitting in the VAR room, agrees to play on. The same John Beaton who's been at the center of Rangers controversies before. This isn't just about one call either. There's a history here. Remember the Premier Sports Cup final when Vaclav Cerny was hauled down, or the Scottish Cup final when Nico Raskin got penalised for breathing near Joe Hart, or that laughable handball by Alistair Johnston that got waved off because of some phantom offside. So after all those robberies, maybe you're thinking it's about time something went our way. But the noise now is that Rangers have somehow wormed their way into the heads of officials, influencing decisions because of past outbursts. That's the conspiracy theory now flying about. Apparently, we're controlling the whole VAR room from Edmiston Drive. Let's be real. If this was Celtic getting that call in their favour, folk would be talking about luck and champions getting the breaks. But since it's Rangers, suddenly it's some master plan with tinfoil hats and hidden microphones. Have Rangers actually started getting fair decisions at last? Or has all the noise we've made over dodgy officiating finally got the refs scared stiff to make another call against us? Mikey Moore had just started to get you on the edge of your seat, hadn't he? That tidy wee finish against Dundee, the flashes of pace, the confidence on the ball. It felt like the lad was finally finding his rhythm at Ibrox. But just as the engine was beginning to warm up, bang, injured on international duty, and now potentially out till the end of December. Typical Rangers luck, eh? Now his agent, Marlon Fleischmann, has piped up, making it very clear what the boy needs. Minutes, and not just a wee run out here and there, real game time. He's comparing Mikey to the likes of Andros Townsend and Harry Kane, saying this stage of his career is make or break in terms of development. That's a bold comparison, but you can see where he's coming from. Under Russell Martin, Moore was barely seen, tossed on late in games like a garnish rather than a main course. But with Danny Rohl, there was finally a glimmer of consistency. 2 starts in 1 week, and that eye-catching performance against Dundee. But even then, he's only lasted around 65 minutes per outing. You've got to wonder, is Rohl managing him carefully, or is he still not quite convinced? Moore himself sounded buzzing after that first goal, spoke about confidence, belief, settling in, everything you want to hear from a young lad trying to make his mark. But with this injury, that momentum's just been ripped away, and it couldn't have come at a worse time with the festive fixture pile-up looming. And here's the issue. Tottenham are watching. The agent's watching. Everyone's keeping tabs. If Moore's not playing regularly when fit, questions are going to be asked. Is Ibrox really the right place for him to develop? or worse? Are we about to lose a genuine talent because we were too slow to unleash him properly? Should Rangers be building their attacking system around young talents like Moore? Or is it a mistake to rely on loanees when they're gone the moment they hit form? Here's a turn-up you didn't see coming. Nedim Bajrami, out in the cold for months, suddenly back in the picture under Danny Rohl, and not just filling a shirt, actually making an impact when it mattered. Let's be honest, you'd have been forgiven for thinking he was already halfway back to the Albanian Superliga the way things were going. Barely a sniff under Russell Martin, and then still nowhere to be seen after Rohl walked in the door. But credit where it's due, he came off the bench against Livingston, played with a bit of intelligence, showed composure on the ball, and got a nod of approval from the gaffer. Rohl even said it was a small step. But it could be a giant leap for Bajrami's Rangers' future. What's interesting here is that Rohl's clearly a coach who values reaction. He's not writing players off, he's watching them in training, waiting for the spark, and Bajrami's evidently given him a reason to rethink. Contrast that with Thalo Arsgaard, who's been flat for weeks, looked sharp with the national team, but in a Rangers shirt, struggling to get into second gear, and yet Rohl's standing by him, says he'll help him, support him, nurture the potential. It's a soft approach, but sometimes that's what you need, especially with younger players who might be carrying the weight of expectation. Still, here's the thing. With injuries piling up, fixture chaos on the horizon, and every point vital, you've got to ask, who's ready to take the jersey and keep it? Bajrami's staked a wee claim, but is that enough? Or is this just a cameo before he vanishes again? Should Rangers be giving second chances to outcasts like Bajrami? Or is it time to clear out the dead wood and bring in players who fit Rohl's system from day one? Now here's a belter for you. Kyle Lafferty stirring the pot with talk of a Gennaro Gattuso return to Ibrox. You heard that right. The mad Italian himself, tipped as a potential Rangers manager if things ever go pear-shaped under Danny Rohl. Let's not forget, Gattuso only played 45 times in a Rangers shirt, but by God did he leave a mark. You don't forget a guy like that, spitting fire, crunching into tackles like it was his last meal and giving every inch of himself for the badge. He didn't win a trophy with us, but the passion, unmatched. Now, Lafferty says he's convinced Gattuso would be excellent for Rangers if the job ever became vacant again. And look, the man's not just floating about. He's managing Italy now and winning 5 of his first 6 games. That's no fluke. But let's be serious here. Right now, things under Danny Rohl are looking promising. Young, sharp, tactically switched on, and already putting his stamp on the side. He's got a deal for 2.5 years, and unless things fall apart, he's not going anywhere. The support's with him, the squad's buying in, and the performances are starting to show a bit of edge. Still, this is Rangers, and at Rangers, success isn't a luxury, it's a demand. If Rohl doesn't bring silverware, the talk of replacements will start again. And a name like Gattuso, that would set fire to the room. But there's a massive divide here. Gattuso's all blood and thunder, old school, war football stuff. Rohl's a thinker, a planner, bringing in a modern, structured approach. 2 completely different mentalities. Would bringing in a fiery icon like Gattuso one day be exactly what Rangers need to restore identity and passion? Or would it drag us backwards into chaos when we finally seem to be moving forward with a clear plan? Like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe for daily Rangers news.